Hello everyone, it's Friday, I'm Auto1000 and this is 5 Awesome Transformer Guys. And the topic for this week is cartoon series. A bit of a tough one for me, this one, because I like a lot of the Transformer series. There's not really one I don't dislike to the point of not watching. There's parts of them I don't like. The Armada, Energon and Cybertron series tend to be dissed quite a lot. I kind of like, not completely, but I like them in, small segments. I think with the AEC trilogy, you could have cut out, say, a quarter and had a really good series, and it wouldn't have affected the overall story. I think there was just too much, wasted time going on in the background. Think back to Dragon Ball Z for an example. If you've read the comics, there's roughly 16 comics in the Dragon Ball Z series, and then there's, I think, 400 episodes of the cartoon. It all just drags on. It felt very much like that. It was just dragged on for no particular reason. Had they not done that, I think it might have gone down a little bit better. Cut it down to 39 episodes, it would have been a lot better. There are elements of it I enjoy. I'm watching them at the moment. I'm watching the Armada ones at the moment. With them on Total Assembly, I'm catching up with all the cartoons. Currently I'm on Armada, so I'm halfway through. I'm at the halfway point now, and we've just got the Requiem Blaster. And I know for a fact there's some episodes now I'm just going to sit there and watch and go, oh God, I'm bored out of my brains, something happened. But then they are going to get to, as it gets close to the end, it gets a bit better. I think there's a couple of episodes that come to cut. RID I actually enjoyed. Again, a couple of episodes they could have cut, or merged 2 into 1, or 3 into 2, or whatever. But they were still enjoyable. Megadeth did it well. Generation 1. As good a series as it was, I grew up with the series. I still have fond memories of the series, but looking back at it now, it's not what I remember. I remember it being this brilliant cartoon, and you look back at it now and go, maybe it wasn't that good, but still good. The Beast Wars series, I'm going to agree with Vigor on this. It was an awesome series. There was a lot of story put into that. There wasn't very many characters again, so they were able to work on those characters well. I agree with him that Rat Trap was destroyed in Beast Machines, but I enjoyed Beast Machines as well because there was no human interaction at all. It was a Transformer series. Beast Wars was similar to that, but in the last couple of episodes, they sort of had humans in it. They exactly have humans, but sort of. Animated, I absolutely loved Animated. Brilliant series. Bit too much with Sarah, human interaction wise. However, she wasn't a terrible character. Looking back at Daniel, some of the AEC characters, human characters, they were absolutely terrible. So I think it stems from what you want to see in a cartoon. What do you want to see in a Transformer cartoon? I'm not too fussed if there are humans. In fact, sometimes I prefer if they weren't. But if there are going to be humans, I want limited interaction, which is what the new cartoon Prime is offering. So I'm looking forward to that. If they're going to be in, there has to be a good reason for why they're in. It can't just be that the G1 ones, for example, where the humans would constantly do something, and it'd be thanks to them that the day was saved. It's a Transformer cartoon, not a human cartoon. If you want a human cartoon, go watch G.I. Joe. Excuse me. But another thing I always like is when the Decepticons outnumber the Autobots, which kind of annoyed me for RID because the Autobots always outnumber the Decepticons, or the Predacons. The villains have to be, through the entire series, the villains have to be a point where they are in control, where they have the most power, where it's a struggle for the heroes to win. Makes the most interesting stories. Again, RID failed at this. They had too many Autobots. It felt like RID. The RID Autobots were made. I think there was more RID, more Autobots made. I think they were made for the series, and then the Decepticons and Predacons were basically repaints from Beast Wars and G1. So they didn't have that many in there, and that was kind of apart from Megatron, but that was kind of a disappointment with the RID series. As for Japanese series, yeah, that was the AEC trilogy and RID. The Waffle on far too long. I mean, I should really like them because that's why I tend to waffle quite a bit, but it's not really from the cartoon series. No, Beast Wars. Go straight onto it. Beast Wars. I've seen some of the Beast Wars second and Neo. I haven't seen them completely, so I can't really judge on them. But yeah, so what you want from what I want from a cartoon. The Decepticons have to outnumber the Autobots. Limited humans. Not only that, when the Decepticons outnumber the Autobots, most cartoons are centred around the Autobots. So I'd say they get roughly, they should have roughly 60% of the screen time compared to the Decepticons. So there's more characterisation put into the Autobots. So if they're outnumbered, then it does make for a much more interesting story, because they've got to conquer all, they've got more, I can't think of the right word, but they've got to overcome an overwhelming force, which is a lot more interesting. I've probably said that a couple of times. Yeah, so that's, out of all of them, I've got to say, I'm struggling to pick one out of the lot. I would probably go with animated, just because it didn't have as much human interaction, and when the human interaction was there, it was pretty decent. And although the Decepticons didn't outnumber the Autobots, the Decepticons were far more powerful than the Autobots. The Decepticons not only had melee weapons, they also had guns as well, whereas the Autobots only really had melee weapons. And it took 5 of them to defeat 1. So it doesn't tick all the boxes, but it ticks more of them. And that's going to be it from me for this week. On a side note, Team Decepticon showed his, so I'm going to show off mine. My pass arrived today, oddly enough. It only arrived today because I've also got the missus as well, so she'll be coming tagging along as well. I'm getting funny looks. I don't know whether that was a smile or evils. There's a mix of the two. I don't think she's sure either. Yeah, so be sure to catch Repellent Founded on Monday, Drucifer Triple X on Tuesday. I said that right. Thanks for the tips. And back to Team Decepticon on Wednesday and Vigadeth on Tuesday. And I will Thursday. And I will catch you all next week.